When you think of a NASCAR race that usually has an electric atmosphere, you typically think of tracks like Talladega and Daytona, or maybe even Bristol. But surprisingly, a track that you least expected produced one of the most electric atmospheres in recent memory. I'm going to take you guys to the 2023 HighPoint.com 400 at the Pocono Raceway. The date is July 23rd, 2023. On a hot Sunday afternoon at the Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, the field is about to be given the green flag to embark on a 160-lap endurance run at the Tricky Triangle. William Byron and Martin Truex Jr. lead the field out of Turn 3 for the green flag, as Dale Earnhardt Jr. awaits in the flag stand to give us one of the most unique viewing spots of a race for the start and for the next few laps.
Bringing the field up slowly through the Geico restart zone. They tap Barber on the shoulder. Here comes the cars at speed.
I can imagine the view on TV made you feel like you were actually at the track, and let me tell you, when the green flag flew and Dale Earnhardt Jr. was up there and for the next several laps, the crowd erupted for him. Early on, J.J. Yeley would spin on lap 5 and bring out the caution. The field would retake the green flag, and for the rest of the stage, it was somewhat uneventful. Cars would get spread out throughout the field, and we saw various strategies in the first stage, like a typical Pocono race. Some drivers decided to come down pit road and flip the stage, while other drivers decided that they were going to stay out to get stage points. While most drivers elected to flip the stage, Joey Logano would go on to win the first stage. The field would take the green flag to open the second stage with William Byron and Kyle Larson on the front row. All would seem to go well heading off into turn 1, but then trouble would occur, as multiple cars would get bunched up and we saw a multi-car crash that included stage 1 winner Joey Logano and Daniel Suarez, who was trying to make the playoffs on points and was on the cut line. This crash would send both drivers out of the race, ending both of their days. This wreck would spark a chain of events that was honestly wild to witness, not only on TV, but in person. The next restart, the field headed into turn number 1, and Austin Dillon would wreck. He didn't have a lot of damage and was able to continue on. But then on the following restart, another crash would occur when Kyle Larson would spin out. Once again, didn't have a lot of damage and was able to continue on. But this was just wild to witness. We saw a wreck on 3 consecutive restarts. Now that we saw 3 consecutive wrecks, the field would mellow out during most of the second stage. Although there were moments where cars would get to 2 and even 3 wide around the 2.5-mile triangular speedway, once again in the second stage, we saw drivers that were either going to flip the stage or stay out to get stage points, and we've seen in almost every Pocono race since the adaptation of stages. With 4 laps to go in the second stage, Christopher Bell would spin out exiting the tunnel turn, bringing out the caution, and this would end the second stage under yellow. Kyle Larson was the beneficiary, as he would go on to win the second stage, and on sheer luck, he was now able to flip his race after wrecking on a restart earlier in this stage to being able to start higher up in the field thanks to this yellow. Now we enter the final stage. William Byron once again is on the front row, and Ryan Blaney finds himself also on the front row. Unfortunately for Ryan Blaney, it was short-lived, as he would have motor problems and drop quickly through the field. Now that the pay window was open, drivers knew it was time to go and race for the win, and they got more aggressive and started making daring moves. We saw a bunch of new players starting to make their way to the front of the field, including Denny Hamlin and also Kevin Harvick. Then another wreck would occur, this time with former teammates Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick would go to the inside of Austin Dillon, but Dillon would also come down, allowing him no room, and this would cause a massive hit for Austin Dillon in turn 1. But the best part about this wreck that adds to the electrifying atmosphere of this race is Austin Dillon threw his helmet at Tyler Reddick for an accident that he himself caused, and I can tell you that the crowd saw this and immediately erupted. The place was ready to explode with excitement, and we still have the finish to get to. As the laps dwindled down in this race, we saw the field spread out once again and cars would get extremely racy. Then we saw green flag pit stops as cars still needed to stop for tires and gas. Kyle Larson would cycle out to the lead, and Denny Hamlin would follow close behind, and then Martin Truex Jr. It was remarkable to think that Kyle Larson now has an opportunity to win this race after crashing during stage 2 on the restart. Then with 19 laps to go, Chase Briscoe would spin out in turn 3, bringing out the caution and setting up a wild chain of events that was about to be the finish of this electrifying race up to this point. On the following restart, we saw an incredible battle in the middle of the pack as drivers were going 3 wide through the tunnel turn and all the way into turn 3. They remained 3 wide through the third turn and then coming down the front straightaway. The pay window was definitely open and drivers knew this was their opportunity to gain spots. And then Alex Bowman would spin out in turn 3, bringing out the caution and setting up the field for yet another restart. But this restart was about to be the most electric it has been all race, as we were about to see a driver make a move that we saw him make in the previous year at this exact same track in the exact same turn.
Side for the lead through one.
He runs the 5 wide, almost into the fence.
Up into the wall with the 5, and now the momentum. Behind them, with the 19 of Mark Truex Jr., Larson loses the lead. Hamlin's out front.
Oh, we got a crash behind him into the tunnel turn. A big wreck. Hard lick.
Just like we saw in the prior year, Denny Hamlin ran the outside car up into the wall in turn 1. The exact same move he did to Ross Chastain in the previous year, he did again to Kyle Larson. The only difference was Kyle Larson was able to still continue on, but unfortunately, this was just enough damage to make him drop through the field. Larson would show his displeasure with Denny Hamlin as he would run him into the wall on the front straightaway under caution. Now we come to the final restart. Denny Hamlin has the opportunity to win this race after running fan favorite Kyle Larson into the wall. Last year he did the exact same thing to Ross Chastain and went on to win, but was disqualified. During that post-race interview, the crowd was absolutely electric. Cheering, booing, screaming, whatever you can think of, they were making that noise. So you can only imagine what the crowd was about to do if Denny Hamlin actually wins this race. As the field would head down the backstretch with 2 laps to go, Ryan Preece would spin out, and at first they would think the caution would come out, but NASCAR declared that Preece was far enough out of the way and thought he could refire his car. Unfortunately, he couldn't, and this would add fuel to the fire, as fans were already upset that Denny Hamlin was going to win, but now you had a lousy finish on top of it, and the place was ready to explode. I'll just let the crowd reaction tell the story.
It's the right call. The car can't be sitting there. Somebody gets turned around coming out of that tunnel turn. You can hear the fans frustrated.
Win 50 comes at the boos of Pocono fans. Into the wall, and the crowd let them know they weren't happy about it. And now, well, he's gotten out of the car. Marty, it's pretty loud.
The boos cascading down from the Pocono race fans today. Denny Hamlin got his first win here. But B, with all the boos from the fans at one of your favorite places.
I love it. I love it. They can boo my rock out here in a few years.
How improbable.
And there you have it. The place finally boiled over and exploded with emotion. The entirety of the race, from the opening green flag laps to all the wrecks that occurred during the middle stages, to the final restart where Denny Hamlin ran Kyle Larson into the wall, fans experienced everything they could, and I felt like finally they were just letting out everything they witnessed into this expression. And let me tell you, it was awesome to see my home track be this loud and this electrifying. So let me know what you guys think of how you viewed this race. It was exciting to witness in person, but if you did watch it on TV, I want to know, were you able to feel as electric as it was if you were actually at the track? Comment down below. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.